Hey everybody, ronarray here. 0.4 is right around the corner, and my bear shaman build is looking absolutely amazing. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the leveling process for bears. I'm going to break down the main combos we will use while leveling, show you how to be faster and how to approach the bear during campaign. I'm also going to leak start the build myself, so feel free to subscribe to the channel for further build updates and check out my Twitch if you want to see my progression or ask questions. Let's go. So your first combo when you're going to start bear is going to be pretty simple. Pick the bear talisman. Don't worry, you will be able to still use wolf's skills with it later on, but bear talisman is going to give you your main attack, which is maul. Maul is going to generate rage for you. It's giving 5 rage every time when you are hitting stuff, and is going to help you much with generation at the start. And with your first gem, you're going to get Furious Slam, your main AoE skill, which is going to trigger a lot of various combos in the build. So at the moment, Furious Slam will just slam everything around you, and if you have 10 rage, is going to give you even more damage, and you're going to perform a rage slam, which is pretty nice, but we're not focusing on that at the start too much. And your second gem is going for Volcano, because Volcano are stacking very nice with Furious Slam itself. If you will add Overabundance as a support to your Volcano, you will be able to create 2 volcanoes, and every time when you are slamming near the volcanoes, volcanoes are going to erupt, firing more projectiles. They're also doing it passively, but I think eruption for slam is working very good. So your initial combo through best part of the campaign is going to put volcanoes on the ground, like 2 of them, and just Furious Slam around to constantly hit volcanoes and hit the enemies with projectiles from those volcanoes. On top of it, you also will be able to use maul to generate rage, together with a basic set of supports. And I think a little later in Act 2 you can add Shockwave Totem to that combo as well, so it's going to be Volcanoes, Shockwave Totem and Furious Slam around. That's going to be your combo across the whole 1 to 3 acts, because it's working very nice based on what we already seen, and most of the other cool bear skills such as Rampage and Ferocious Roar are coming later on. But there's another very cool thing that I wanted to mention. You will be able to take the very important skill from the wolf, which is Pounce. Pounce is going to change you to the wolf form, so you will be able to run around faster, and you can get it very early. You can use the Pounce without changing your bear talisman, so just click it, become the wolf, run around, and then use the bear skill again to change the form and start dealing the damage. I think it will make our campaign experience significantly faster, so make sure you're using Pounce all the time. Also, after level 14, you will be able to replace the maul completely by Fury of the Mountain attack. Fury of the Mountain is going to give you fissures, so your combo will look like this. You're placing your volcanoes or just the totem later in the endgame, you're clicking Fury of the Mountain to generate the fissures, and after that you're either using Furious Slam or Rampage that will be available later on. That's going to be your bread and butter combo after level 14. And in terms of supports for Fury of the Mountain, just going for the basic stuff such as Rage, together with Upheaval and probably Rapid attacks later on will be a main option. So now let's talk a little about support gems for your starting skills. You will be able to find all the information with skills and supports and all stuff like that in the written guide that I have both in the description and in the pinned comment, so check it out, there's a lot of useful info to consider. However, talking about the supports at the moment, for the Furious Slam, I believe the first support should be Aftershock, because Aftershocks are giving 25% to cause an Aftershock, which is giving additional damage, and it should stack very well with Furious Slam by itself. And the second support is pretty questionable. I believe that if you don't want to use maul to generate rage, you can just use a rage support for Furious Slam. That way every 3 slams you will generate like 9 rage, and the number 4 slam is going to generate 12, and that time you're going to automatically use an Enraged Slam. So that way, if you will get like Rage 1 on Furious Slam, you will be able to just constantly Furious Slam without even bothering with Maul. If it's not going to work too good, there's an option with Feast of War 1, which is going to give you Ancestral boost every 6 seconds. But I believe the lazy option for Rage 1 is pretty nice. For the Volcano, you will need to get Overabundance to get +1 Volcano, as I already mentioned, and Considered Casting. I think it's going to boost the damage pretty good, but Considered Casting is tier 2 support, so you're probably going to leave it empty until you will be able to get it in. And for the Totem, I think running Overabundance is making a lot of sense as well. And Totem is going to stack especially good with Furious Slam because it's going to give you Jugged Ground every time when you're using Enraged Slam. And Totem is going to erupt Jugged Ground, which is a very nice combination. And for the last basic skill is Maul, which is giving you just additional rage, so if you're going to use it to generate, running rapid attacks together with Rage 1 is probably the best idea. Don't forget to use Furious Slam when you're stacking at least 10 rage to get the enraged one. So the next part is Spirit Gems, and I believe at the start just taking Herald of Ash is probably the better idea. There's also an option to take Herald of Ice, but I believe that Herald of Ash will be much easier to stack at the start. So take Herald of Ash, you also don't really need to level it much, and that's probably going to be your first spirit-based gem. After that, I think at higher level, you can go for Time of Need for additional life regeneration with Blessing, and you can also add Clarity for additional spirit. So before you'll get access to Time of Need, I believe that running like Clarity and probably Cannibalism as an option to recover your life, together with Herald of Ash, is going to be the best idea. But later on, Time of Need is a pretty good thing that you can rely on for additional healing during the boss phases. And the last gem to talk about is Pounce. So since the Pounce is a Mark skill, I recommend to just run it with Mark for Death at tier 2 when it will be available, and rapid attacks when you can get it, so it will just feel faster. So that way you will be able to move even faster and cast Pounce faster for single target damage as well. So at the higher level, you will get an access to Walking Calamity and Rampage. First off, the Rampage is going to be your main movement scale when you're playing Shaman, so from Act 3 to 6 and closer to the end of the campaign, you will be able to just use the Rampage. Rampage is going to eat out your rage, but since you're playing the Shaman, I believe it will be very easy to make sure that that rage is not going to run out too fast. So perfectly, in that part, like closer to the end game, especially when you get Walking Calamity, you will need to just activate Walking Calamity and then activate Rampage to run around. But if you don't have Walking Calamity, the combo is kinda staying the same. You're practically just activating your Totem, you're activating your Volcanoes, after that you're going around with the Rampage, and if you still have Rage and you want to stop it, you can just use a Furious Slam at the end when you have a 10 Rage. That's going to be the main combo across the whole campaign, and we're just going to add Rampage to it later on. For more information about skill and supports, feel free to check the written guide. I'm going to update it constantly when the league starts. And you can also check it on my Twitch to see what I'm playing myself. And talking about the current situation with the passive tree, at the moment we don't have a proper way to showcase the passive tree since it's still not updated. But I'm going to showcase like an approximate pathing that I'm probably going to take myself. So starting from the Druid, I'm just going to go through the left side, take like the Guardian here, probably taking both area effect and area damage. We will need to take life regeneration because it's also going to provide damage. Those two parts of passives are literally changing the places. And I believe going to the right and taking like that part with mana and maybe even mana itself later on when we will become a Shaman is making sense. After that, I heavily recommend to go further to the left. And going through the left side, you can always reach You can always reach what you need here, so you can just go further into Warrior, take the Smash, because Smash is providing like melee damage and melee damage against heavy stunned enemies. If you will feel like you're not really dealing, like you're already dealing enough damage, but you have mana issues or cost issues in general, I believe Blood Rush and Price of Freedom is still staying somewhere around here, so you can invest into both of them. And after it, I believe that just going down for a singular purpose to boost your Talisman, because Talisman's two-handed weapon and singular purpose is providing a lot of damage, is making sense. Also reaching further to like Crushing Verdict, which is looking absolutely amazing as well. After it, it probably will be a good idea to go to the left, leaning into the new nodes, which we currently never seen, and going to take like Impact Force and reaching Feral, Bestial Rage, and even Battle Fervor. So later on in the game, I believe going to the right part, reaching something like Momentum for faster speed, light on your feet, and also taking maximum rage from Battle Trance right here would be the way. We can also get even more movement speed up here for Adrenaline Rush, and if you will go down for Gem Enthusiast, it could be pretty nice as well. I believe that using Constricting Command for surrounded bonuses could be an option too later on. So those could be available, but it's mostly for the endgame. For the campaign, I think something like that is probably going to be the way, but I'm going to update the tree when we will see new nodes, and we will have more information very soon when 0.4 starts. And the last part is gearing. I believe the gearing for the build at the moment is very simple. You mostly just need to take good items with high amount of armor and some life, and that's pretty much it. For the gloves, you will also need to search for like physical damage to attacks, +1 level of melee skills, and increase attack speed. For the boots, you obviously need a movement speed, as always, so nothing changed in there. And for body armor, I heavily recommend to get like armor applies to elemental damage, because it's going to boost your survivability in general. For the rings, you will need to aim for like physical damage to attacks as well, and you can also get +1 level for melee skills on your amulet too. And the most important part of the gearing is always going to be like the weapon, so try to change the weapon as often as you can and just always aim for higher DPS from the weapon itself. Plus level to melee skills is also going to come in handy, so don't forget about it. And talking about Ascendancy and Ascendancy Order, since currently we have much more information about how the Shaman is working, it's much easier to come up with ideas. So first off, we are taking Druidic Champion, because it's going to boost our Volcanoes at least a little since we are still using it. And after it, we are progressing to Furious Wellspring to make sure we have both maximum rage and just rage regeneration. Make sure that like your skill will start costing rage after it. So add the skills that you're using constantly, such as Furious Slam, you will probably need to add a rage gem so they will generate as much as they're just costing. And that downside is not going to affect you much. After it, I believe it would be a very nice idea to take Reactive Growth. 10% less elemental damage taken is absolutely amazing, and Adaptation is looking like a very strong option, because you can stack like 3 adaptations at the time. And they don't have durations, which is very nice at the moment. I don't believe that going for Avatar of Evolution right now, and especially early game, is making much sense, since adaptation will have durations and it's going to provide some survivability, but I believe that just reaching Wisdom of Magi could be a better option. Or if you stuck with Spirit, you can even go for Sacred Flow. So any of those 3 options would be absolutely viable, and we will need to test which is going to be the last. But your 3 are always going to stay the same, so like Druidic Champion, Furious Wellspring, and Reactive Growth right after. So at the moment, I'm absolutely sure that Bear is looking very good as a league starter, and we're probably going to have a lot of fun with this. Thank you very much for watching. Check out both our rating guides, and feel free to subscribe to the channel for more updates, since I'm going to constantly update the build. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon. ronarray out.